Okay, you guys missed what she said, but she said, your team might have lost the game, but you certainly did your part on the defensive end. Does it give you at least a little satisfaction knowing you were able to take your matchup out of the game even though the team lost?
Yeah, it does. I know I did my job, and if my teammates can't step up and do theirs, then this is what happens. I don't ever want to lose a game, but when we do, I'm going to make sure you ain't going to be able to pin any of it on me, you feel me? And that was the case here. Let's hope my teammates are able to take something out of my individual effort and apply it to their own game next time we get out there. Then maybe we won't be talking about this stuff.
Oh, I nailed the teammates pretty hard.
Just to get a hold of that bread. There must be a reason why they call you with all that game on the do your head. Work 2 jobs, but you don't do windows whenever you.
See the Bobcats getting ready to go. We're live home of the Bobcats, the Time Warner Cable Arena in wonderful Charlotte, North Carolina. Well, it was the Charlotte Bobcats in their last game, a loss to Portland.
Yeah, that was a cold day for them from the three-point line, and instead of adjusting, they kept firing away from out there. I was surprised they didn't try to work the ball inside.
Yeah, I was too, but hindsight being 20/20, locking into the three-point shot and making that their weapon of choice, not a good idea.
A look at the opening lineup for the Memphis Grizzlies presented by State Farm. Conley and Mayo in the backcourt. Gay and Randolph make up the forwards. And it's Gasol at the center position. And for the Bobcats, Augustine and Henderson are the backcourt pair. McGetty out there with Tyrus Thomas, and it's Brisbilla in at the 5 down low.
For the Bobcats, guys, last year was really disappointing overall. Their play against the West didn't do them any favors, and they had a lot of...
Here's Mayo. Boy, he was something else against the Lakers. Back to Randolph. Passes it to Mayo. Fades away. No luck. And Charlotte the other way now. Back to that, the West can fill it up in a hurry, and the Bobcats couldn't handle it.
Well, when you have defensive issues like they did, it's no fun taking a trip through the Western Conference. The teams will just pick you apart at that point.
Doris Burke has an update for us. Doris?
Yes, a short time ago, Paul Silas and I were able to chat. When I asked him where they might have an advantage today, he said, we've got the shot blockers to make things very hard on them when they bring it into the paint. And that's what we plan to do. Gentlemen?
Thanks, Doris. So Clark and Steve, defense, it looks like, coming first for them today.
And while you don't really want to put all of your cookies in one jar, I mean, I think emphasis on defense is a way to go.
Yeah, I'd agree, because if you come out and establish
the guy sucks.
It sets the tone, and you really kind of take control of that game emotionally.
Guys, I don't think there's any question about it. It was the best season in Grizzlies franchise history last season. I mean, a team that was 0-12 in the playoffs, had never won a playoff game, upsets the top-seeded Spurs in really convincing fashion. It was clear they were a really difficult matchup for San Antonio.
Well, the Grizzlies, Clark, took the Thunder all the way to 7 games. This is a team that won 46 games in the regular season, and then all of a sudden they look like one of the best teams, Steve, in the West.
Yeah, what an amazing turnaround, Kevin, and they did all that without arguably their best player in Rudy Gay. But what I like best about Memphis is that they really established an identity. They pounded you inside, and they really hustled defensively, and they were going to outwork you. And I think that was the key in their playoff run.
Goes right up. Goes up. Gay with the defensive effort.
Boy, he had a great look at that, but really good defense contesting that shot.
No good there with the step back J. The Bobcats with the lead. This is the second time they've matched up against Memphis.
Well, if they're going to avoid losing to this team like they did last meeting, they're going to have to do a better job rotating guys in and out and staying fresh, because they really did not use their bench, and it came back to haunt them.
And just to touch again on Steve's point, they had real problems dealing with the bench in the last loss.
I'd agree with you. I mean, it was the biggest issue for them. And like you said, Steve, they're going to have to go deeper into their own bench this time around.
And Charlotte's struggles last season, guys, were really reflected in their play at home, because in previous seasons, Time Warner Cable Arena was a tough place to play. But the Bobcats' home record really fell last year.
Marc Gasol has checked in for O.J. Mayo.
And guys, you just got to love this offensive skill set. I mean, that's what he does, and that's who he is.
Averaging 6 points per contest.
Man, my guy's handling sucks so much.
Forcing that mistake.
Augustine with the steal. He's covered by Randolph. He passes to Thomas. Again, the miss by the Bobcats. Steve, that big drop you were talking about at home is one of the reasons why the Bobcats, didn't make the playoffs. So Clark, it's not hard to figure out why they didn't make the postseason.
Yeah, you look at it, I mean, that certainly was part of it, not being able to handle business at home. They went from 31 wins to 21. And they also had some injuries. Steven Jackson had a hamstring that was bothersome all season long, and he was their main go-to guy. So him being hurt certainly impacted that home record.
And here's Augustine looking for his first bucket of the game. Conley picks him up. Reverses. Augustine, that's good.
What a move. He saw a window on the other side of the rim and whipped it around for the immaculate reverse.
So timeout called here. The first for Memphis.
Yeah, the Memphis Grizzlies made the playoffs last year for the first time in 5 seasons.
Here is Augustine. His last outing, 16 points for him. So on the floor to begin things for Memphis here in the second quarter. Randolph and Gasol together inside. Mayo at the 2 with Gay at the 3. And it's Conley in at the 1 spot. Yeah, the Grizzlies' road record, and Stevie just said 16 road wins last season. Clark, what's the key to improving that number?
I think a big part of it is confidence and mindset. Understanding how you have to approach games on the road. There is a little different mindset, and some of that is born of confidence. They may have more of that confidence and swag now because the first playoff appearance in 5 seasons, first playoff series win.
Oh my God, my dude loses it every time.
They now believe with their core group of talented, relatively young players that they can play with and beat anybody.
Henderson passes to Augustine. Here's Babcock.
Oh my God, my guy sucks.
He's probably better suited sending the ball back out to a teammate, because that's not his game right there.
Gasol is screen on Augustine. Getty against Gasol. Rebound by Prisbilla. Prisbilla's got 3 rebounds now in this one.
By all accounts, Kevin, it was a great season for the Grizzlies last year. I mean, a bit of a down season for Marc Gasol, though I thought he rebounded and scored pretty well in the playoffs.
Wow.
He should make that one. Guys, he had a pretty good look at the basket, just couldn't get it to go.
My dude is bad.
Outside Conley. Gay outside. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Babcock grabs the rebound inside. And you look at Marc Gasol, 26 years of age. Steve, how good do you think he can get?
Well, he's one of the best centers in the league right now. And you look at the size and the strength to go along with his skill. He can pass, he can score, he can knock down that 16, 17-footer at the foul line. He has turned himself into a very, very good basketball player.
Mayo up top, averaging 10 points per contest. Back to Conley. Over Augustine. Conley gets the bucket. Conley's got his first bucket in this one.
You know, for a guy like him who can light it up like that, that's too easy.
Getty up top, all alone. Gets it to go. Getty's got 6.
That's the way to do it. Really nice ball movement there.
Timeout called. The Grizzlies, their last game a win against the Lakers, looking to carry it into this one.
Man, what an incredible night.
It's the Grizzlies. They're up by 1.
And welcome to the HP Halftime Report. A great one underway at Time Warner Cable Arena. The Grizzlies battling in a close one against the Charlotte Bobcats. They let them hang around so far. Now it's anybody's ball game. They made a point of working the ball around. Great offensive teamwork. And Charlotte also looking good in the first half. Their bench is giving them a huge lift offensively. Coming up big. DJ Augustine making the most of his minutes. He's got 6 points, added 3 rebounds as well. And now let's go around the league to catch up on other NBA action. The Lakers grabbed the win against the Thunder in Oklahoma City. Just edged out in that one. Their top scorer was Kobe Bryant. And another game that wrapped up, the Cavaliers over at Quicken Loans Arena losing to the Pacers. Just came up 1 point short. Baron Davis was their top scorer. And now we'll look at the other NBA action. Out in Boston, the Celtics are taking care of business against Toronto. They're in the 4th quarter, and they've got a double-digit edge at the moment. That's going to do it for us here in the studio. We'll send you back to Kevin Harland and the crew. Second half call.
And now the start of the second half. Neither side jumping out ahead through the first 2 quarters. Here is Boykins. 6 points for him.
Well, you have to be impressed with the way the Grizzlies were able to transform themselves into a top 10 defensive team last season. They were near the bottom of the NBA this season.
Oh my God, dude.
He's in
My dude.
Diaw and Brown are up front for them. Boykins out there with Cunningham. So that's the group out there for Charlotte. Arthur commits the loose ball foul. That's his first foul.
A little bit reckless there, trying to get that rebound, and he gets the call for going over the top.
Yeah, he practically tackled him. I mean, he was draped all over him, Steve. That was an easy one.
Steve, you're right. You know, when you look at the Grizzlies, their improvement on defense was terrific. I call them these bulldogs. But Tony Allen and Sam Young played a pivotal role, I thought, Clark, and just the toughness quotient that they upped what they did defensively last season.
Well, Tony Allen, Kevin, is one of the best defensive players in the league. I mean, he's right there in the top. Actually made one of the all-defensive teams in the league. I think he made 3rd team all-defense. And he might be the best perimeter defender in the league, particularly on the ball. He's got a commitment to defense and a toughness where you're not going to shake him. The guy's going to stay there and be in your chest. And I think that kind of sandpaper edge rubbed off on the whole team.
That's a good point.
Oh my goodness, I don't believe I just saw that. Did you see that happen? My eyes got to be playing tricks on me here.
No, I don't think so, Clark. That was real. I mean, real.
I saw it too, Clark. It was real.
Now Diaw. Myers from 14. And good on the basket. Hook it. Boykins has got 8 points.
Look at their scoring. Mid-range jumpers account for 6 of their last 10 points.
Well, defensively, they're doing a nice job of keeping them out of the paint, but I've got to give them credit. They're knocking down shots.
Here's Babcock. Up with it. Dives for it. Out of bounds. They'll keep possession. Let's go to the 2K leaderboard. For the past 10 games, these teams have been fantastic on rebounding. Second, the Grizzlies.
Kevin, that's been a nice run lately. They're making a strong effort on the board, and it's working and paying dividends for them.
For the Bobcats, Joel Prisbilla checked in for Brown. Thomas comes in for Boris Dia. And it's Henderson for Dante Cunningham. Memphis also making some changes. Marcus Saul is checked in for Poe. Mayo comes in for Xavier Henry. And it's Conley in for Ish Smith. Here's Battier. Battier missing again.
And I think whichever team starts to dominate the glass could really take control of this game.
I won't disagree with you. I mean, it's so tight between these teams right now on the board that you're just waiting to see which team might pull away.
Well, that's 3 turnovers now in this quarter. What a bad stretch for them. Defense wasn't able to get back fast enough to contest.
Well, they were caught flat-footed after committing the turnover that time, guys.
And one thing you hear out of Memphis is that Mike Conley has really stepped into more of a leadership role. He's been much more vocal in that point guard spot. He had a great season last year when Memphis made it to the playoffs.
On the clock. With the clock winding down. Henderson, no good. And the Grizzlies leading by 4. He kicks it to Arthur. Backing in. Battier outside. A 3-ball. No one. Now the Bobcats take it the other way. And, you know, speaking of Mike Conley developing as a leader, that's something you really need from that point guard position, don't you think, Clark?
Without question. And, you know, playing for a former point guard, Lionel Holland, certainly has had to help Mike Conley's development. But Mike's maturity, Mike Conley Jr.'s maturity, listening to him talk about his role and his responsibilities and seeing him handle the media in post-game interview situations speaks volumes to where that young man's head is. He's anchored on the ground, thinks the game, and is committed to getting better. As a former Buckeye,
I know.
I'm extremely proud of that young man. He's done a nice job.
Well said, nonetheless. Hey, you're a Buckeye guy.
And they will hold for the last shot.
Yeah, good clock management is essential here.
It could go. That misses. Would have counted had it gone in. The points coming in bunches as we wrap up the third quarter. It's been a good one. It's been quite a game for Rudy Gay.
Well, it's the concentration.
Coming up this Thursday night, Chris Paul and the New Orleans Hornets go up against Blake Griffin and the Los Angeles Clippers, live from Staples Center. Hoops action.
Now as we get going here in the fourth, let's send it over to Doris Burke for our Sprite Spark.
Thank you, Kevin. The Grizzlies have had the spark in this one. Up and down this roster, everyone has been prepared to play. If they keep this level of play going in the fourth, they'll be able to hold on to this lead, guys.
Thank you, Doris. We've got 1:48 left here in the fourth quarter.
Unnecessary pass there. He's got to make a better decision.
So on the floor for Memphis. Mayo at the 2 with Gay at the 3. Leon Poe out there with Zach Randolph. And it's Conley in the corner.
And they're struggling a little bit on the glass. They've got to pick up their physical play in the paint.
Yeah, it's about being tougher and more physical, just as you said, Steve. If they can do that better, they got a chance to come back.
By himself. And then Gay with the jam. Brought to you by Sprite, the Sprite Slam Cam on the replay.
There isn't anybody in the building that didn't appreciate that throwdown.
Well, Steve, that's as fancy a finish as you could possibly get.
A serious degree of difficulty on that one.
Gerald Henderson, he's checked in for Charlotte. Grizzlies now also with a sub. Gasol's checked in. Nice job at the line. That one falls to pick up the and one. Here's Augustine. Maggette outside. He's covered by Gay. Here's Babcock.
Oh
Gay
my
gets a hand on it.
God.
Clark, if they want to, they can milk the clock just a little bit here.
Amen. I think that's the best option.
They've definitely hit that groove offensively.
They sure have, guys. I mean, really aggressive. And I like that posture and mindset. Stay aggressive.
Yeah. Steve, you like groove, don't you?
I do. I love groove, Kevin, and I love the attack mode this team is in, too. I mean, they're really getting into the paint. They're getting whatever they want offensively.
And here are the Grizzlies now. Randolph with the ball. Now here's Conley. Shot clock at 6. Outside Randolph. And right away they match it with a three-pointer of their own. And the Grizzlies lead by 10. Oh, yeah! Takes the alley-oop pass and dunks it down.
Slamming it home off the alley-oop. Remarkable.
Well, his eyes got wide as he went up for that one.
And he timed his leap perfectly to meet the pass at the top of its arc.
So it's Memphis picking up the win.
Well, that was my worst game.
They saw, they conquered.
Hey, Kevin, to me, any win is a good win.
Thank you for joining us for this presentation of NBA basketball on 2K Sports. For Clark, Stephen Norris, and the rest of the crew,